Hi, today I'm going to discuss about power estimation for a GPU core. Um, so in GPU, usually, as you know, that GPU meant for high resolution graphics computing. So you can see on the slides here. So these slides, these are the only few slides, but there are many pictures. You can see that. So GPU usually responsible for high resolution graphics, especially lightning effect or high resolution color, and vehicle movements or object movement and so forth. So so usually these the graphics usually um, transform or computed using object transformation. So the object transformation involves a lot of trigonometry and vector arithmetic and so forth. So a few years ago there used to be a trend that GPU based on the pixel based. So the pixel based, what happens is that most of the graphics based on the pixels on the monitor, but however it has a drawback. Whenever you want to see a more closer look of a graphics, pixel based objects tend to lose resolution. So instead of that, there is a new trend in graphics called a vector graphics. So vector graphics based on the vector arithmetic. So in this case, objects are transformed using vector matrix or vector arithmetic. So these vector matrix or arithmetic based on the memory. So they don't depend on the pixels. So you don't lose the resolution. So now the vector arithmetic gaining trend is usually that what happens that vector arithmetic based on your, linked list technique, what we used to do in a programming C or C++ linked list. So the memory is tied to using linked list. So usually in the 3D graphics, the instructions involves addition and multiplication required for move the object on a 2D plane or a 3D plane from one frame to another. The reciprocal square root and trig functions require special lightning effects, vehicle movement or object movement, those things, and trigonometric functions require angular movement of any objects. And then compare converts instructions you require certain minimum to or maximum uh, uh, comparison and so forth, and convert instructions for integer to float to integer conversions you required on certain applications, and the minimum maximum are to be certain, as the name itself stands for certain minimum maximum bounds. So the power modeling based on support vector regression model. So in this support vector regression model, so hyperplane defined by a normal vector W, and bias B, this defines the distance between samples and the hyperplane, and the classification can be defined by a discriminant function f of x equal to wx plus b, where f of 0 is the hyperplane and the samples lie on the hyperplane f of x plus or minus 1 depending on the class belong to. Usually the both parameters w and b were estimated SVR regression model, support vector regression model. So this is the usual power modeling for SVR support vector regression model. So these W and B determined during the training stage in order to minimize the distance between the uh, hyperplane and the closest samples, with the aim of minimizing the W. No, with the aim of minimizing the W half of squared. So that with subject to absolute of y minus wx minus b, with that this absolute should be less than certain zeta error in this case. So y and x are y is the output and x is the input. So depending on this mathematical model, So one can predict the GPU power. So the GPU power, here it is shown for floating point. Similarly, you can draw for POSIT based GPU. In our case, is the Racer. So the samples I have shown for n-body simulation. So n-body simulation is mostly used in high performance computing. So usually it is uh, requires in um, n-body simulation for molecules, or weather pattern predictions and so forth. And option pricing, usually this is used in stock pricing, or financial modeling, you could say. So fast Walsh transform, usually it's in a DSP, and GNN, you can use it in a neural network. So red stands for the predicted model, and then the blue stands for the original sample. So using this mathematical model, the red one, you can predict GPU power. So if you look at if you compare POSIT versus floating point, is that the POSIT gives you the large dynamic range. In other words, the accuracy is large, and then the power efficient compared to FP, I would say much better. I would say almost a half. uh, the performance, it's also double, because the width is reduced, the data width. The usual ratio between the floating point and the POSIT is that POSIT requires half the data width of floating point. So in this case I have shown 16 bits, which is equivalent to FP 32 bit. So the table what I have shown here for VC709 board. So as you can see in the on the left side, the table shown for floating point addition, multiplication, reciprocal, inner square root. On the right side, you can see POSIT addition, multiplication, reciprocal, square root, and trig functions. In usually GPU, these trig functions are computed using routing, floating point arithmetic routine. Those are assembly routine, so that's why I have not shown here. So if you look at the table wise, the logic utilization is almost, maybe almost a half, and you could say, since it's a half, the frequency is going to be much better as well, because the cycle time is going to be reduced. So I would say it's a double the frequency, and since the data width is reduced, the power is going to be the reduced as well. So what you can draw from this table is that POSIT is going to be quite very useful in a lot of application GPU, and nowadays 5G is coming up. So in 5G, the POSIT plays a significant role, I would say. This is because in 5G, usually what happens is that the signals or the technology requires line of sight communication. So usually the signal computation is huge. Because of that, the 5G phones leading to have heavy battery. So these, if they use floating point, I would say the battery is going to be much heavier. If they use a POSIT, the battery is going to be much lighter. And since the 5G has a large bandwidth, it's usually in the range 26 gigahertz to 96 gigahertz. So but usually the graphics require the range. You don't require that much range. Usually nowadays the telecom operators giving the range about 3 gigahertz. It depends country to country. Some operators give the spectrum for 5G 2 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz, or some country gives spectrum up to 10 gigahertz. It depends on the country's telecom operator. So in case of GPU, more than 2 gigahertz is sufficient. So when you are operating in this range, so people expect higher, high resolution graphics with no wait for buffering. So in these cases, now POSIT plays a significant role, the computation power. Yeah, so that's it. So if you have any questions, now please do get back me via social media channels, or you can contact us directly. Thank you.